Well, well, well. Well, John.
Hello, Ben. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay, my old mucker. I'm
Good.
okay.
Good. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to see. Been up to much this weekend, John?
Working.
Working. Hi there, Shalini. I see you there. I do. I see you there.
Oh, it's just Ben. It's just hi, Ben. I see. That's how we're playing it.
Sorab says, sup, Ben, John.
Oh, hi, Jaipo. Thank you.
You feeling love now, John?
Yeah. Lexi didn't get her ice cream yesterday because my wife forgot about it, left it in the car, and it turned to just a puddle of rancid liquid.
Dog ice cream.
Oh, you get dog ice cream, yeah. She loves it. She absolutely loves it. She did get her pig noses, though, and she loves them even more. Puffed pig noses. She loves them.
Jesus Christ.
Go to the raw food shop. It's like have you ever watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Oh, sweet.
It's got like dead deer heads and things, rabbits. Oh, it's got everything. Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's a vegan activist's worst nightmare.
Oh, don't go there if you're a vegan. Don't.
Yeah.
Dogs aren't vegan or shouldn't be vegans.
Don't do it.
I think that clown Hamilton makes his dog a vegan. It's not good for it.
Well, no, and they should be brought up on animal abuse charges as far as I'm concerned, those that are doing that. Dogs are not meant to be vegans. You should not be forcing a dog to be a vegan. You should not be forcing a human. If you're a parent, you should not be forcing your child to be a vegan. But, you know.
You shouldn't force anyone to be a vegan if they don't want to be.
Because we're not meant to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they have to live their lives on all these fucking supplements, right, John?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's his name? The Apple guy, the one that died.
Oh, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs. He was a vegan. Didn't do him much good, did it?
No, it certainly didn't. So I've had I managed to get a video out yesterday. But...
Tell you what. Let me do this first.
Hmm.
Welcome, one and all, to this episode 110 of Chasing Dissent Live. From me, the man formerly in the van and now hunkering in the bunker, and from Ben in the South Coast studio.
Hello. Yes. Hello. So, did you need to get that out of the way before you forgot to do it?
Yeah, because it would be like, God knows how long in, and I would have forgotten to have done it.
Yeah, but then I would have gone, John, and you'd have gone, what? And I'd have gone, introduce the show, like I normally do.
You would have, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? It's like one of the bits we've got.
Yeah.
Like, let us pray.
Already?
No, I'm just saying it's like that.
All right.
I'm just saying it's like that, right? It's one of the bits. It's one of the bits that the audience can rely on happening at some point during the show.
One of the bits.
Yeah, well, we're 110 episodes into this. They know the bits by now, John.
Yeah.
So I've had a bit of a weekend. So Friday night, I went to a memorial for a friend who's passed away, and I was the only so we were in a field where we used to go as children, and we went to have a drink there, and one of my other friends, he bought a sound system and a generator and lights, and I'm absolutely shocked the police did not turn up at any point, because this was not a scheduled or permitted event. We just went into a field, and it's in a semi-residential area, but we made a lot of noise, and everybody else around me was drunk, right? And I'm talking drunk, and I'm sober, you know me. But it got to the point where, and I won't name names, but there was one I was so concerned about, I had to drive them home, John, right? Because this person, I'm not going to allude to who they were on the floor, incoherent, unable to speak and unable to stand. And I got my adult head on at that point and thought, maybe it's best not to leave them in this field like that. just thinking out loud there. So,
well, you never know what might happen or what
well,
they might
no,
get.
well, John,
Ben.
John.
Oh, Ben.
They can't see it. They can't see it.
Oh, they look nasty.
John,
Ben,
what is that?
you tell me, Ben. Is it blistered?
Hold on. Let me try and get it on big screen. Yeah.
Oh, is it the pox? Is it the pox?
Would you tell?
I'm not a doctor.
Is it the pox, John? Have I got the pox, John?
How's your bottom?
It seems to be okay, John.
Does that feel sore?
Well, I felt a little sore in the morning, John. Just not in my bottom.
Yeah, it could be the pox.
No, it's not the pox. It's bites. It is bites, and I've seen pictures of the other people that were also there, and they are also covered in these bites. And I showed you one earlier, didn't I? Someone's leg was oozing.
Yeah, and it's fairly normal.
Yeah, I know, but just oozing. So, I think it could well have been horseflies, yeah, because it definitely wasn't fucking. It definitely wasn't mozzies,
as we call them in Scotland, clegs.
Yeah, I haven't just got those 3 bites, by the way. I've got about 8 of them, and they're not that itchy, which is the only saving grace. Like, I haven't felt the need to itch them, but I woke up this morning at 6:30, and bear in mind I got bit the night before last, not last night, and I woke up this morning at 6:30 with a searing pain down my leg where these 3 are, and I've been up ever since.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, I mean we could have fooled them, couldn't we? We could have told them I had the pox all episode.
Yeah, we could have.
We could have done.
We're not like that.
We're not like that. We're not like that. It's definitely not the pox. Anyway, John, do we have a list?
We do have a list, mate. We do have a list.
Shall I play them the list video?
Run VT.
That's definitely not our list. But let's dig into it.
Yeah, let's dig in.
So what's going on in the world this week, John?
Well, Elon Musk has made a statement about Twitter, hasn't he?
I haven't seen. I've not seen anything this weekend, so...
So Elon has said that if Twitter can prove that they did some kind of thing on 100 user accounts and something like over 80 of them were real. He says if you can prove that, then it should go ahead. The purchase should go ahead as original. But he said you need to prove it.
And I think he's absolutely right. I think absolutely. If you are, if Twitter are on the level, if they're absolutely on the level, and they're saying that like, oh, it's only 5% bots and we can prove it, right? Prove it. Prove it, Twitter. Don't stall. Don't start court proceedings, because that tells me, that knee jerk to push him into the court tells me they're hiding something.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
well, I think there's a lot of bots in the system, and I don't know what they're trying to do just now, but they are purging, aren't they? They are purging.
Oh my god!
It's like they took a double dose of laxative. They are purging big style.
They are. They're absolutely. They're leaking users. They're dumping. Is this purge? Is this going on to try and get rid of the bots to prove this
But
point, and people are getting caught up in it.
well, I don't know. It's a mess, isn't it?
Mess is an understatement, man, an absolute understatement. But there are people being purged for absolutely no reason. Us to from all of our accounts being 2 of them, right?
You know what? It's still a more fun platform than Truth Social.
But it is because you can get into it with people, and you really can, and you can reach those alternative viewpoints, and you can have a debate, and you can change minds, and I mean, even I'll give people an example here. You've been seeing earlier on today in a private message, me and someone else that we're actually working alongside have been debating something. I don't know if you've seen it.
I saw it, yeah.
But you can't have that kind of debate alongside people on Truth or on Gettr. And
you can't, because they all agree with you.
yeah, that's not knocking the platforms, right? That's saying that the user bases are homogenized. They are a homogenized ideology almost to an extent. And like you said, people just sort of agree with one another. And if you're going to change hearts and minds and try and get them on side, you're not going to do that by sitting within an echo chamber of preaching to the choir. You're not going to do it.
Agreed. But you know what? You don't even need to want to change hearts and minds. You just maybe just want to have a conversation with people who have a different view. You know, because you don't need to make everyone, follow your line, because if we had no diversity in the, did I use that word, diversity? If we had no differences in the world, then we'd be bored, wouldn't we?
Exactly. It'd be such a boring place if we were all just sort of robots going along. Eat, consume, sleep, repeat. Eat, consume, sleep, repeat. Yep. It would be awful.
Yeah. It would be terrible.
It would be absolutely terrible. And it's not a world I want to live in. I'm going to be honest with you. I like debate. I like difference. I like pushback against myself, and I like being proved wrong if I'm wrong and having my mind changed, right? And it can happen. It rarely happens, but it can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. Mr. Musk, do you think he will end up owning Twitter?
No.
You don't?
I don't.
You think it's too late?
Yeah.
I'm almost on the train now that this was a meme. This whole thing was a meme.
Advertising for SpaceX.
Mm.
Oh yeah, apparently the Cybertruck's going to cost a lot more than they originally thought.
Well, they're sold now, aren't they?
There's a surprise.
Those Cybertrucks, they're sold now, so...
Yep, you're not getting your money back, because if you're into small print, you don't get your money back. Or you
well, I mean, it's the ugliest fucking vehicle I have ever seen.
It looks like one of those Chinese water tanks.
Yeah.
A bit, except upside down.
Yeah. It looks awful. And I think they designed it like that on purpose to look as awful as possible.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, give me some of that. Give me some of that. Because this can go to our world though at the moment, right? There are a lot of people with more money than sense, John. And when you're buying something that looks like that for an exceedingly excessive amount of money, you've got more money than sense.
You do. Yeah.
You're not the type of person who's going to worry about paying your energy bills this winter. Put it that way.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, indeed. Shall we move on?
Yes, let's move on. And we're going to conflict. There's a bit of a war going on, or fighting anyway. I don't know if we call it a war. But 32 dead, 6 of them kids. And no one has mentioned war crimes.
Is this in Israel and Palestine?
Israel and Gaza, yeah. 32 Palestinians dead, 6 of them children. And nobody's mentioned war crimes. Why not? Why is that not a war crime?
Well,
no, I mean that. Why is that not a war crime?
I would actually say, obviously, that it is, but, and there is a but here, because there's two sides, there's two narratives right now with this story. One is that, yeah, Israel did this, yeah, and the other one is that Palestine misfired a rocket, bombed their own people, and are just blaming Israel.
Oh, so we're going down that route.
So
Okay.
both these narratives are they're out there, they're permeating.
Okay. Okay, so
And
what about Israel stopping all fuel going into Gaza, which has meant that they no longer have power for their hospitals and everything?
I would say that's maybe a war crime in itself.
Not a war crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like
like,
but
it's like,
John,
I mean, Israel, right? You had the state of Israel gifted to you. Well, that's going to annoy a lot of them anyway. But they had it gifted to them in the 40s, and they had their state, and it's got bigger and bigger and bigger, and taking more and more and more.
mm-hmm.
They obviously will not be happy until they've got the whole fucking thing.
Oh, well, no, and once again, this is a conflict, right? Where there are no real good guys, because there are no real good guys here. There are just selfish, ideologically driven bad guys on both sides fighting one another, and then all of the innocent people of both areas are getting caught up in the crossfire. This is what's happening, and it's the same with Russia and Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
We're seeing two very ideologically driven, not very good people fighting one another, using the army as cannon fodder, essentially. And who gives a damn about who gets caught up in the middle, right? Except that's where we come in, and that's where we sit. Yeah, we do give a damn, because we, just like you watching this, we are those people in the middle, right? When it comes to these conflicts, we're not going to go and fight for either ideologically driven side. We're going to do our best to take care of our families, and we don't want our families getting killed in that crossfire, if that crossfire were to ever occur. And the majority of people on all sides of all of these conflicts think just like us. And so somebody's got to be their voice. And I tell you, the mainstream media are definitely not their voice, are they? They don't care. Well, no, let me rephrase that, John. They care when they get blown up, because then they can weaponize it, and they can use it for clicks, they can use it for likes, they can use it for airtime. But otherwise, don't care.
Yeah. What's his name? Dayman30's been quite an interesting comment in the chat. He says he's been kicked off 5 channels on BNT, so that's not an echo chamber.
That's good. I mean,
it's good.
good in the ideological sense, right? That there are people that disagree, and people don't have to agree with us. Never have to agree with us. Just if you're going to push back against us, then please push back against what we say, not who we are. Don't attack us directly. Just say, I think your argument is flawed, sir, and here is why. And do it with that accent as well. Yeah. No, John. I think that argument is flawed, John. It is flawed, and this is why.
Indeed.
Indeedy do da day.
Where was I? Next
Where
on
were?
the list. Oh,
moving on.
So this guy that died twice now, the one that died of asthma and then died from drone strike.
Oh yeah, is he alive again?
No, he's not alive. But I think somebody's telling porkies somewhere around this whole drone strike thing, because the Americans said that they flew the drone from Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
Which is part of a defense agreement with Russia. Kyrgyzstan and Russia have a defense agreement. I somehow can't see Kyrgyzstan and Russia agreeing for the Americans to fly a drone from their land, particularly with what's going on in the world at the moment. Secondly, the Americans haven't been in Kyrgyzstan in a military sense since 2014. So where did it come from? And obviously the obvious point is it came from the Middle East. But none of them want to accept that, because then if it came from the Middle East, it had to overfly Pakistan. So then Pakistan's implicated in giving it permission to go across their airspace. So all these Muslim states are now being implicated in the death of a Muslim. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's more than a bag of worms when you start digging into it. And then Al Qaeda say there isn't any trace of him having died anyway. Have you seen the missile as well that they meant to have used to kill him? So it's a.
You heard that as well, did you?
So the missile is a Hellfire without a warhead.
Okay.
And it's got blades that pop out and cut things to bits. It's fucking ridiculous. We're into cartoons now. We really are.
It's like an Acme missile.
Yeah. It's like something Wile E. Coyote would dream up to try and take out the Roadrunner.
Well, Roadrunner just looking at it going, meep, meep, and just running off.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
America been caught lying again.
Well, what do you expect? What do you expect?
I don't expect anything other.
I can say, do you expect anything less from any government, John?
No, not at all. I mean,
no.
Every government lies to some extent or another. None of them
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, indeed.
It's not as clear cut as everyone makes out. And speaking of it not being quite as clear cut as everyone makes out, well, to be fair, we never said it was clear cut, did we?
No.
Zelensky's Ukraine is now starting to unravel in fine style, isn't it? So even Amnesty have had a little pop at them. Now,
you mean Amnesty are agreeing with us? With us?
A little bit. They said some of the things you've been doing aren't quite in line with proper treatment.
Can we before you elaborate, right? Can we get some kind of jingle that you can press the button for that simply starts making fanfare music saying "We were right again"? Yeah,
we should do that.
We should do that, shouldn't we?
Next show, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Next show. Yeah.
Anyway, elaborate on how once again we were right, John.
Yeah, and I think we all know it's Germany that's holding up this 8 billion. Because you probably find that Germany's going, how the fuck are we going to pay for gas? If we give all this money to Zelensky. So Zelensky's really starting to throw his toys out the pram now. It's starting to unravel, and even the State Department in the US have said, maybe things aren't quite as clear cut as they could be in Ukraine. Maybe things haven't been done quite properly.
Maybe there's an entire battalion of the Ukrainian army who are white nationalists / white supremacists who quite like a swastika, John.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask Hunter what's going on.
Okay, so I spoke to a friend, right? And this is relevant to this. I spoke to a very old friend. I went out with them yesterday. So I met up with a few of the people I hadn't seen in years. Yesterday, again, they came to my house, picked me up, right? And we were talking about Ukraine. And I tried saying it. I said, there are NAZIs in Ukraine. And the first thing this girl turned around to me and said, this is a normie, by the way, right? When it comes to all this. That's propaganda. That's Russian propaganda.
That's not. It's a fact. Well, did you used to told her to go and watch a BBC documentary on it?
I told her to go and watch Ukraine on Fire by Oliver Stone.
Oh well, but even better would have been the BBC documentary.
It doesn't matter because I'm pretty sure that friend understands now that what we're saying is absolutely true, right? There are NAZIs in Ukraine. There are a fair few of them. And we have to remember that they are the third biggest producer of videos containing child sexual exploitation. They are. In the world.
Yes.
They are.
That's a fact.
That's true. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Anyway.
They're not the good guy. Now, I'm not saying they're the bad guy, but they're not the good guy. And Russia are not the good guy.
I would actually say that if you had to toss a coin between them, I think Ukraine is worse than Russia.
And it's the opinion of John Porter and John Porter alone. It does not necessarily represent the opinions of Chasing Dissent, Liberté Media, or Chasing Dissent After Dark.
Yeah, but I'm entitled to have my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, you are. Absolutely, you are. And I will simply say this as my opinion. I can't toss a coin and say which one's worse, because once again we've got to look at the regimes before we look at the public. The regimes are both just awful. Lisa's asking me, have I had a play on my new present, John?
Yeah, you can try it, but
It's not coming through the microphone, is it?
No.
It's not working. And it's a bit weird because it's left-handed, so I'm going to have to learn to completely play the other way around.
Yep, can't hear a thing.
Yeah, it's not coming through the mic at all.
Yeah, it just doesn't come through. His guitar doesn't either, so it's not just the banjo.
Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Like the low end things come through.
I think it's
a high end.
Nice. Oh, you heard like a scratchy ruffle there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, Lisa, it is left-handed, but I am left-handed. I just play right-handed guitar normally, so I can just learn to play it the other way around. It's no problem. No problem. But yeah, it's awesome. I got a banjo. Thank you so much, by the way. Apparently there's some spare strings in one of the pockets. The more you know. Thank you so much. It's overwhelming, really. Awesome. It's awesome, John.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm going to learn to play banjo.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's excellent indeed. Should we move on, John?
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Meanwhile, in Scotland, people have been delayed from leaving hospital. In one case, for 5 years.
You're going to have to elaborate, my friend.
So these people have been trying to get out of hospital, and there hasn't been a bed available in a care home or whatever for them. And it has taken 5 years for one person to leave a Glasgow hospital and 6 years for one person to leave an Aberdeen hospital. So let's just clear this up. They're not ill enough to be in hospital, but they're not well enough to be living on their own. Okay?
Doesn't make any sense, man.
So they need to be discharged to a care home, and it took them 5 years to do one of them and 6 years to do the other. That is ridiculous. The NHS in Scotland is well broken.
I mean, I don't know what I can even say to that. That is...
You can't say anything. It's an incredible statistic.
It is. It's an incredible statistic indeed. It's terrifying, actually. It's terrifying.
Yeah,
because let's face it. Okay, so let me give you a scenario just popping off the top of my head here. They should have been in somewhere, be it a care home, be it residential care at home, right? Yeah. So maybe a nurse going in. But they were stuck in a hospital and weren't able to see their family for nearly 2 years for no other reason than they weren't discharged.
Yes, exactly.
And they could have been discharged possibly to a house with a nurse that could come through the house and take care of them.
Yeah, possibly. It's been a whole administrative nightmare.
So if I were the families of those patients, I'd sue.
Yeah, I would too.
I would sue. And I know that any settlement will come out of taxpayers' money, right? At this point, I think if anybody has been wronged by the system in any way, shape or form, family members of people that have died because of restrictions or anything of the like, sue them. Enough has to be enough, right? Sue them. Class action lawsuit. Sue the system. Enough has to be enough. That's all I can say.
Yep.
John, before we move on, ladies and gentlemen, this is the housekeeping part as we are roughly half an hour into the show. If you are able to support us, then please feel free to head over to patreon.com/chasing dissent or indeed subscribestar.com patreon.com/Chasing Dissent and support us. You can join us tonight after the show. If you are a member, if you are a subscriber on, and by join us, I mean you can come into this show, right? You can be on the screen, talk to us and everything like that, but you won't be live. We won't broadcast it out. It's private conversation. We can shoot the shit and everything like that. Vaughn says, please don't call it Pridepox. It's Schlong COVID. There we go. There we go, indeed. So if you would consider going to patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, and those who are already patrons, I can see some of you in the chat there, head to the Patreon during the end credits of the show, and the link to tonight's after party will go up as a patron-only post directly on the page. Once again, that's patreon.com/Chasing Dissent, or indeed subscribestar.com/Chasing Dissent. John, let us pray and move on.
Well, that's actually very appropriate. Because we're going to the New Scientist.
Let's pray. John, tell us a good word of the New Scientist. Tell us.
The New Scientist has come out and said that new symptoms. It's amazing how many symptoms get attributed to diseases these days. But new symptoms of the monkeypox are penis swelling and rectal pain. Now, I'm kind of thinking that those might be precursors to catching the monkeypox rather than.
What are you trying to suggest here, John? That perhaps not enough lube was used.
I'm not going down that road. That's not a back alley I'm going up, old bean.
And by the way, we at Chasing Dissent, Liberté Media, and all affiliated brands absolutely respect everybody's right to have whatever sexual partner they wish to have. Any sexual engagement between 2 adults or 50 adults, if you'd like, in the private spaces of your own bedrooms is your business and your business alone.
Yeah.
Legal disclaimer there, John.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Basically, we don't give 2 shits if you're gay.
No, yeah, nobody mentioned anything about that.
Well, let's face it. Let's talk about reality here for a minute, John. 90% of cases are within gay men who have been having unprotected sex.
Steady. You don't want to say things like that.
It's true.
That could be gayest.
It is true. That's true.
Right, moving on.
Moving on.
So there was a chap who was an actor in Emmerdale, went to visit his family in LA and died. Age 31, just dropped dead. There was another chap who was a hurley player in Ireland and just dropped dead at age 24.
Did he have any underlying health conditions, John?
No, none of them. And there are now 13 Canadian doctors who have died of unknown causes.
Yep.
13 serving frontline Canadian doctors.
I'm aware.
Unknown causes.
John.
Just putting that out there. That's all I'm doing.
I'm just projecting a mental thought onto the crowd, John. You know what it is. I don't know how I do that. Yeah, honestly, I don't. I do it. I don't know how I do it. Right.
So Australia, let's go to that land down under.
Let's go back down there, John. Let's go to Australia.
First of all, they're having a drive to put defibrillators out in every house in Australia. Every house.
Where?
Every house. Just
we
get round that for a minute.
Listen, John. Whilst we are never going to tell you that there is an increased risk of people dying from heart-related conditions, there's probably an increased risk of people dying from heart-related conditions, and we just don't want to tell them about it. So we're thinking if we put these things out into their houses, right, they can just shock each other, and hopefully they don't drop dead in as big numbers.
Yeah, well, so that's an incredible task to be doing, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what, John. Here's what we're going to tell them. We're going to tell them it's climate change. Okay, we're going to tell them it's climate change, and they need the defibrillators to fight climate change. That's
Right, okay. People will be wiring the defibrillators up to run their fridge. The price of energy is these days.
Yeah, John. That's the plan. I told you, we're giving them the defibrillators to fight climate change. They're probably not going to need them to stroke themselves in the heart, so they got a big fucking battery. They can use it for what they like.
Throw another snag on the defibrillator, darling.
Imagine that, chucking a hot dog on there and just going, clear!
I brought this hot dog back to life.
Yeah. I brought this hot dog back to life. It got a pretty mouth.
So in related news in Australia, there are hundreds of teenage girls coming down with some sort of strange neurological thing where they end up fitting, and it's just a weird unknown condition that doctors are baffled by.
You know what it is! I'm getting good at this.
I'm just baffled.
It's giving me a headache, though.
Oh, stop doing it then. Right. So let's stay in Australia briefly.
All right, let's stay in fucking Australia.
I'd like to introduce you to Michael Alecha, an Australian rugby player.
Yes, that's who you are right now.
He nearly died when he woke up, went out into the backyard, and caught his wife filleting his best friend and fellow teammate. So he then turned around, punched the door window, putting his arm through it, pulled it back abruptly, and slashed his arm open, losing 2.5 litres of blood. Not pints, 2.5 litres of blood.
That's
about 5 pints.
Yeah. A bit more than 5 pints, actually, John. It's roughly 6 pints.
Yeah, that's a lot of blood. So he nearly died.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so funny. It's typical Australians.
Did you see the video, actually? And I'm going to be very careful. The video of the topless man with the boomerang.
Yes.
Staying in Australia.
He wanted to have a conversation with a doctor, and he attacked the car with a boomerang.
So, for context, this doctor had administered a treatment to his wife, and as a result, I believe it's his wife anyway, and as a result, so this is what I've been told is the context to this video, so I can't verify it at this time, but I've been told his wife then passed away after that treatment had been administered, and this guy was very, very annoyed. So that's the context that I've been told. Once that I can't confirm it, but if that was the case, if that was indeed the case, then I think the boomerang was justified, possibly. But
it's so Australian.
But we can't condone it. We can't condone it.
He turns up with a boomerang.
I know, right? And he's topless. He's built like a brick shithouse. He's muscular. He's topless, and he's got a proper Australian. And when he's smacking the fucking mirror, he goes, "Fucking hell, broke my boomerang!"
And then he punched the window in. He didn't just punch the window; he punched it in.
Yep. But I broke my boomerang, John. I fucking broke my boomerang.
Yeah. Well, in fact, let's stay with Australia. So
Jesus, how long do we have to stay over there?
Oh, bloody hell. Once you're in, mate, you can't get back out.
Oh, fucking hell. Can't get back out of Australia anytime soon, remember. Well, unless you're Novak Djokovic, in which case you just can't fucking come in.
Yeah, well, you can come in, but you'll get deported.
Yes.
So Australia has sent 70,000 tons of coal to Ukraine to help them in their war effort, to keep the lights on or whatever. So it's okay for Ukraine to burn coal, but not Australia, which is in an energy deficit just now because they don't have enough renewables.
Wow.
So there you go.
I mean, wow. Just wow. I mean, I think we should just get back to the old industrial days,
Okay,
John.
let's go back to America. Okay.
Okay, let's. I'm stuck in
Oh,
Australian mode.
I don't. Oh, well, okay. Let's stay in Australia. One
Oh,
more thing.
fucking hell!
So, the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh yes.
Great Barrier Reef is doing fucking great, mate. It's doing great.
Climate change, John. Climate change.
Yeah. So the Great Barrier Reef will be wiped out in what 30 years? They said 30 years ago.
Great Barrier Reef has got the highest amount of coral it's ever had.
Ever had, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because those predictions from those, and they are activists. Let's face it, they're not. Let's call them activist scientists. Okay. But those predictions from those activist scientists who put out these models, they never come true, do they, John?
In fact, Latimer Alder published a whole list the other day of things that haven't come true. In fact, I was going to read it out, but I can do it another day because it's quite long.
Just put it as well. I would say put it as its own video, but we'll have to dress it up and title it smartly.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's because you can't deny the CC on YouTube.
I mean, it's covering everything like peak oil.
I mean, nobody here is denying that the climate is changing. The climate changes.
Climate changes every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's called weather.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was quite cold last night up here. I was toying with the idea of putting on the heater.
Ooh. The heater.
The heater.
The heater in August?
Scotland. Winter.
Shalini asks, did you see my post about the Maldives? They're building a new international airport.
Three they're building. We've been banging on about this for months, remember?
So aren't they meant to be underwater?
Along with Florida and New York.
You
can't go and visit Florida and New York because they're underwater, aren't they? And the Maldives. The Maldives is gone. And Vanuatu, because that's only like 2 centimeters above sea level, so that's gone as well, isn't it? Oh, no, it hasn't. And Bill Gates just bought a waterside property in Florida, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the Obamas have got one as well.
Yeah.
And many, many rich, famous climate activists, as we'll call them, keep buying oceanside property in all these places that are meant to have been drowned by now.
Yeah. They will drown, though. They will drown when half the Canaries falls into the Atlantic Ocean. And then.
We move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So I'm slightly out of sync here. Oh, insurance company in America. Insurance companies in America have said there has been a marked increase in deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds. They are baffled, as are the medical staff, and it's up by 40% on normal. 40%. And I have no further information. That's all they gave me. But insurance companies are baffled.
That headache again, John. Just getting that headache again. You know what it is! I think we should move on.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go to India. This is no laughing matter. Okay. This is no laughing. I'm sorry. It's not a laughing matter.
He's already laughing his head off.
It's not laughing matter, but it's so freaking funny. It's tragic, and I'm not trying to over dramatize this. It is absolutely tragic, and I feel really sorry for the guy. What a way to go! So, can you imagine a 50-gallon oil drum, right? This guy's standing beside it, and it's full of porridge.
No.
And he just collapses and falls straight into the fucking porridge vat. He falls into a vat of boiling porridge.
Oh my.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, of course he's dead.
Coming back from that, mate. I mean, porridge is like napalm.
It just
If you
sticks and melts in, and
if you ever accidentally get some on you when you're dishing it up, you know,
that must have been so painful as well.
it's fucking drowning in boiling hot porridge. That's just not the way to go. Sorry, I was doing a test on YouTube last night.
You heartless bastard!
I may, fair warning, I may be a sociopath.
That would explain a lot.
Well, they did say that, in fact, I might be borderline psychopath. Because
that would also explain a lot.
To be diagnosed as a psychopath, you need to have exhibited these traits before you were 15, and I might have nailed every one of them, but I'm not going into that. No, I don't. I think it was just neat porridge. There was no. It hadn't been adulterated at that point.
So you're telling me there's no honey in it? Winnie the Pooh definitely was not involved.
I think I'm going to be with Shalini on this. The only thing you put in porridge is salt.
See, I've got a response to that.
I'm waiting. Salt. No, salt is good. Don't put honey in it.
Listen. I've got a response. What? You just don't fucking eat porridge. Let's move on.
Oh, porridge. I like porridge, but it's not great because it's a grain, so I don't eat grains anymore. Oh no, I like porridge. Porridge is good.
No, it's not. Let's move on.
It's not around two people. Because on one hand he says I've had it and it's horrible, and then the next time he goes porridge is great.
No, he's talking about salt in porridge.
Shalini's wrong. You put salt in porridge. That's all you do. That's all you put on it. Right. Anyway, moving on. These people aren't real. Right. So so there's been this big thing about sunscreens causing skin cancers, and fact checkers have found that to be false.
Right.
So there's been this whole thing been going on over the last few months. I don't know if you've noticed, but they keep fact checking. You know, people will say, you know, sunscreens cause skin cancer, and we didn't get skin cancers in the 70s because we didn't use sunscreen, and then, but now we started using sunscreen, and people are getting more skin cancers, and it's the sunscreen causing it. Well, allegedly, it's the sunscreen causing the skin cancers.
Right.
And fact checkers have checked this, and it's false. It's false. And then Banana Boat, those people that make sunscreen, have just recalled a whole brand because it has a carcinogen in it. Oh dear. You can't make things like that up, can you? It's like somebody's setting them up for a fall.
I'm losing the will to live here. I'm absolutely losing the will to live here, John. This world is absolutely...
it's crazy.
It's stupid. Stupid.
Speaking of crazy, right, have you seen the Chinese official? The Chinese official that's been tweeting about American propaganda, and you know, retweet if you want to stop warmongers. This is from a Chinese government official. Blue tack and everything. It's not fake. It's a blue tack on Twitter. And the guy's tweets are hilarious. I'm actually thinking of making a video, just reading his tweets out.
Please do. Please do.
It's certainly worth watching.
John.
Ben.
I'm losing the will to live.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ben. We're nearly at the hour, so we're not long to go. We've only got about 4 items. Well, actually,
I'm losing the will to live because of how we're 110 episodes deep into this, right? And it's plainly apparent that this world is not ready to be adult at all. And I'm not saying I'm ready to be adult.
Yeah.
But come on, people, for fuck's sake!
Right, so here's obvious statement of the week, number 1.
Right.
Long coof is more common in those not seeking work. You don't need to be the brain of Britain to work that one out, do you? I think we used to call it heart and kidney disease.
And I know what you mean there.
Heart lazy and kidney be bothered.
I'm just not going to respond to this one because there's so much I could say, John.
Okay.
So much I could say.
Right. So here's an interesting one I found as well this week. Paramedic is treating a guy for having a suspected heart attack. Has a heart attack. Then has to be treated by the other paramedic. It's like all we needed was for that second paramedic to have a heart attack. We could add it could just have gone on forever, couldn't it?
No.
It doesn't happen often. Paramedic, somebody for a heart attack has a heart attack.
Well, it depends what they've got in their system at the time, John.
Well, yeah.
You know what it is! Didn't even get any warning about that. It just popped out.
You get better, mate. You're getting better.
I know, right? It didn't give me so much of a headache that time either. Anyway, we got a few items left on this list.
Two, mate.
2 items left to go. So, John, give us the penultimate item.
One I missed earlier. So, someone's come up with a bright idea of a particularly green transport method would be to move to trolley buses. Now, you probably won't remember trolley buses because I certainly don't. But I think, hello, 1950, we're coming back to the trolley bus and we'll all speak like this and we'll have a jolly good time doing it.
We get on the back of the trolley, John. We just get on the back of the trolley as it goes past. Yeah, so get on the trolley bus and we'll all wear trilby hats and lovely suits.
If these trolley buses were so efficient, why did we move away from them?
Reasons?
I don't know.
No, reasons. That's the answer. Because that's the answer for why we do most things on this world. We're going to do this now. Why? Because reasons.
Yeah. Okay.
That is it. Because reasons. That's the answer. And that's the real answer for most things.
Cellini says trams. Well, trolley buses aren't quite trams.
They're not.
They're not. They run on wheels and they can steer.
Mm-hmm.
They generally get their power from a what's it called, a pantograph? Yeah, pantograph.
An overhead cable.
Yeah, so they're stuck to the route on which the cable is. Although I think they did have a little bit of battery, so they could go in between cables and things.
Imagine turning the entire country into a massive fucking Dodgems track.
That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah, that is basically what you're doing. You're turning the entire country into a massive bumper car. And then just hoping for the best.
Yeah, you don't need that whole infrastructure of digging up the road and putting in big steel rails and all that nonsense.
No, you don't. Don't need any of that.
But they're deadly because they're silent as well.
They are. And I think electric cars are deadly because they're silent.
Can be. Yeah, especially
stick a fucking muffler in them, for God's sake.
Well, it need to be an electronic noise-producing device.
Oh yes, an electronic noise-producing device. Stick something in, make some just to be. Have
that now. To be fair.
To be fair, what they actually need is a little speaker in them, right? And as the driver puts the foot down, a voice comes out. As they're driving, I'm a pretentious prick. I'm a pretentious prick. I think I'm better than you. I'm a pretentious prick.
Virtual signaler coming. Virtual signaler. Right, moving on. Farming. So farmers are being offered lump sum payments to give up their land.
Yes, they are.
Now, there are 2 conditions to giving up the land. If you give up the land, you either have to give the land up, right, give it back to the government or whatever, or you can keep the land if you put it all to tree planting. Right?
Smart cities incoming, John.
Yeah, but why do we want to plant all these trees on farmland? This is high-grade farmland. Why are they giving lump sum payments to give up farmland and plant trees in it? Why?
To push people into smart cities.
I don't want to live in a smart city.
I don't want to live in a smart city either, John.
I'm not going to live in a smart city.
I'm not going to live in a smart city. My children are not going to live in a smart city. But it's true. Like, if they can rewild, they can push us into smart cities, and then we'll own nothing.
Oh, and then they'll bring back wolves and bears and things, so we won't be able to go out in the woods anyway.
I mean, South Park are doing it at the moment. They just done a 2-part special on Paramount Plus called The Streaming Wars. There were two movies, and the main antagonist in it was Man Bear Pig, right? It's a part man, part bear, part pig genetic aberration that's been in it since the early series. And I'm thinking that's exactly what they're going to do to us, right? They'll stick Man Bear Pig out there in the forest, and if we go out there, he'll appear. Man Bear Pig, he'll attack us. We're fucked, right?
And because we're not allowed guns.
No, exactly. And that's it. Man Bear Pig will get us, John.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it. There's one item left. So apparently there is a nutritious and protein-rich source that you can get from milking your cock. Sorry, milking your cockroach. So cockroach milk is apparently rich in proteins and very good for you.
You will eat the bugs, John. You will eat the bugs, and you will be happy. You have no choice in the matter, John. You will eat the bugs.
No, you don't need to eat this bug. You just need to drink its milk.
And then afterwards, if you would like food, you will eat the bug, John.
I won't be eating bugs.
You will eat the bug.
No, I won't.
You will, and you will be happy, John.
Eat you before I eat a bug.
You will eat the bugs, John.
No, I will not.
You will.
So anyway, there you go. So cockroach milk.
The answer's no, by the way. I'm not going to be drinking cockroach milk, and I'm not going to be eating the bugs. And if they try and ban the meat, I will obtain it my own way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quite simply. They can ban the meat all they like. I will still be eating the meat. Did you ever see the film Demolition Man with not Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, and they had the rat burger.
Well, yeah, and they live in their underground little community, and he says something like, "I want to eat bacon, get high cholesterol, and basically be free." And that is me. If I want to eat bacon, if I want to have high cholesterol, that should be my choice. I am not going to be forced into veganism or eating the bugs.
I didn't realize that Demolition Man was a documentary while I was watching it.
Just, John Porter, you are fined 1 credit for violation.
But it's basically a documentary for the world today.
Yeah. It is. It is. You know, hate speech, all of this. Everybody has to be happy. Every fast food outlet is owned by Taco Bell. And I mean, I saw the writing on the wall when down here in my little South Coast town, a fucking Taco Bell's open, John.
A Taco Bell?
We've got a Taco Bell.
Really?
We've got a Taco Bell, John.
That's just that. The mind's boggled.
Yep.
I'm baffled.
Yep.
I must be a doctor. I'm baffled.
All of the fast food outlets in that movie, Taco Bell. Every restaurant is owned by Taco Bell. She says it, right?
Yeah.
We now have Taco Bell here. It's appeared.
It's starting.
It's beginning. I'm worried, and I don't like Taco Bell, so I have not
Who the hell does like Taco Bell?
Shalini says that's from the USA. What's the actual fuck? Well, you'll be down here next week, Shalini. I can take you to Taco Bell. It's near the seafront.
Yeah, you don't want to eat Taco Bell. They are bad.
Well, yeah. If you want to maybe, I don't know. If you want to eat that, I can take you there.
If you want to eat that Mexican muck, then
Spencer says I picked up 3 seashells from the beach earlier. Still haven't figured out how they work though.
No one knows how the 3 seashells work.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Frankie and Benny's is pretty poor as well, to be fair.
Yeah, Frankie and Benny's was okay at the very beginning.
Very much. Well, yeah. It depends on your franchise as well.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, John.
Ben,
Tell them how they can access the after party.
you can access the after party by stop being tight and
No.
subscribing to us on patreon.com/chasing Dissent or subscribestar.com/chasing Dissent. I've just sent our young man Sorearm his personal invite because he's special.
And no, Spencer gets one as well.
Yeah.
But I have to send that to him.
I've sent Sorearm his invite. Wait until the show has finished before you join. I will not admit you until the show has finished.
Yep. So on that note, John.
Ben.
Close the show.
So, I'd like to thank you, one and all, for attending this episode 110 of Chasing Dissent Live.
110.
110. 110 of these special, educational, informative, funny, and cool shows. With that, I bid you good night.
Good night.
That's all we've got time for this evening, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. Good night. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Stop playing with my bust!
Good night, everybody.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy.
You're a what?
A pianist!
Mwah! Good night, everybody.
You have been a delightful audience. So, good night. Thank you.
Oh, my bottom hurts. Good night, everybody.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob.
Oh, I did love that hamster so. I took it into bed with me every night, you know.
Good night, everybody.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to go now. I've been standing here for a very long time. I think the end of the show must have come and gone.
There you go. That's our solar system.
You forgot Uranus.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening. You've been very nice to work to.
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.